The last three games, I thought exactly what we needed to see where we are. Again, I thought we did some good things against NC State, but we weren't consistent throughout. I thought we did some good things against Iowa, shot the ball much better, but again, weren't consistent throughout. Wisconsin, we looked like we were dragging a little bit. We looked a little bit tired or sluggish, and it just showed. And what I'm going to explain to the team is the last 6 minutes. You see that we still have more to give, and that's really where I'm going to talk to them about the mental conditioning aspect of it, where we have to know next possession, next play, missed shot, made shot, turnover, great assist, whatever. We still have to play at a certain level to be in the upper echelon of the Big Ten. And these next couple days are going to be great for us. We got practice time. We need it. We definitely need it. It's going to be good to work on some execution things too. I thought there were some situational things we could have done a better job of, especially when they go on a run. They're making some shots. We're in a little bit of foul trouble. We really need to get a great possession. We got to limit those quick shots and just careless turnovers. I think if we can do that, we work on practice the next couple of days, we're going to be that much better from this experience.
Statistically, at least, converting into paint has been an issue the last couple of games. How do you address that in practice? And would you like to be getting to the line? You obviously would like to be getting to the line more, but how do you go about?
So we got to the line 25 times. We're obviously getting to the line much more than our opponent right now, so all good stats. I'd like to see us make some plays off 2 feet instead of just going off 1 foot. If we can make if we can get in there and jump stop a little bit more and slow ourselves down, then we'll make even better decisions. I'm not saying that they were poor decisions. I think we're getting to the basket. We're missing layups. And I thought before these 3 games, we were making those layups. Now we're missing them. So if we can jump stop a little bit more, go up strong, and if we don't like what we have, well, we got guys behind us. We got second cutters all around. I think we can make better decisions by staying grounded.
Coach, your team's been pretty streaky in games. How do you go about getting more consistent play throughout 40 minutes?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, consistent play. Foul trouble can't deter you from doing what the game plan has asked you to do or staying on task as far as winning that next possession, defending and rebounding, playing hard. We need, obviously, the bench. That is something with these 2 Big Ten games so early. If you look around, there hasn't been a lot of bench play or bench production, only a couple teams, I would say. So, you know, these practices are going to be critical for our young guys and guys coming off the bench. And then, obviously, GW is going to be a great test. They just beat Temple, a really good team. They played Princeton tonight. Princeton's really good. So we're going to have a great challenge. So we just got to keep working on that and keep getting them there. And I think then you get more consistency. Then you reduce Tony's minutes, like we talked about after the game. Then, you reduce Mike's minutes a little bit. I think everybody else is okay. Lamar's right around 30. Josh is right around 30, 32, 34. Shep's around the same. So that's where I expect those guys to be. But you can't play as hard as you want them to play for 40 minutes if they're playing 39, 38. That's just too many minutes to ask for.
Going off of that, I know you don't have so many bodies to work with, but in practice, I know you'll adjust obviously for injuries, but during these stretches where you have so many games packed into a short amount of time, do you address plans individually for certain guys? Like, take a certain set of this, segment off or what you're doing in practice? Like Tony example, when we talked about it, he's obviously in phenomenal shape, but you played 39 minutes. We'll get you a little bit more rest today in practice, or is everyone just all go?
No. I'll take us back to NC State. We were a go, but I'm very smart with what I'm doing. We will sub Tony, the high volume guys. We'll sub them and make sure we get the other guys in to get some quality work. Mm-hmm. A little bit harder after Iowa, or even between NC State and Iowa, because you don't want to be too taxing, because you got to travel, and those guys are going to play quality minutes again. So we didn't really go live that much. We won about 20 minutes, which isn't a great deal, but you go and you shoot well, and you have fresh legs, and you did some good things. Sunday, it was a walkthrough. We didn't go live, and maybe that was a mistake. Maybe we should have went live 20 minutes just to keep that fight and that fire and that energy. But again, it was good to have it at this time, a little trial and error, but we got to be smart with that.
Point production from the bench, how much of that is a concern rather than just wanting to see more out of that?
It's not so much a concern. I just don't want to drop off in intensity and in what we're trying to do. Jamari's been fantastic. He works so hard. The ball's going to fall from him, and he's got to shoot. Like I already told him, you got to shoot the ball. You're open, shoot the ball. You've been shooting beautifully. And he comes in every day and works on it. So he's earned the right to take those shots. So I think that's going to fall. Again, Nas has got to come in, defend and rebound, and do the little things that he can do. Get himself to the free throw line. He's got a great mid-range jumper. It's more about the other end for me. Because they're going to be in there with Tony and Lamar. They're going to be in there with Mike. They're going to be in there with Shep. So you're going to have at least a couple starters in there with some reserve guys. Everybody knows their role. Be an all-star in your role and do your job. But it's the energy level, it's the juice, it's the fire that we really need off of our bench. I think Jamari's doing a great job of that right now.
In terms of mental toughness, in the first half against Wisconsin, you got off to a slow start, not shooting well from the field, but in the second half, you kind of got a rhythm going. Was it just being tired after, playing 3 games in 6 days, or were you just not being aggressive enough in the first half?
It still comes down to the mental conditioning part of it. When you're missing shots, you're not seeing the ball go through. Like when you're seniors, if you look at Purdue, they can get through that because they're seniors. They've been there. They've done it. We still have to get through that. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about mental conditioning. Missing shots and turnovers can't dictate our effort. Where's Mark? Our effort. So all the time, it's got to be the same way. We got to compete on the same level every single time. And we have more to give because we played so hard that last 5 minutes, that last 6 minutes. We need to play like that for 40. Now, it's a long way to go. We're still in early December until January 2nd, but that's what we need to get through, and I think that's what really showed where we can get better.
What is the next step for Tony and Lamar and Mike and all the experience they got last year, but still not being seniors, like you mentioned with Purdue? What's the next step for them as far as that kind of mental aspect and developing that for them?
Yeah, I would say the mental toughness part of it, the mental conditioning aspect of it. I treated NC State, Iowa, and Wisconsin. That's going to be the schedule in the Big Ten. There's going to be very similar setups. And we have to be mentally tougher to say we have to compete the same way every single night, no matter if you're making or missing shots or turning the ball over. It doesn't matter. So we want to see a consistent effort. I think Mike gave us some really good back-to-backs, which he hasn't done for us. I think somebody in this group had said that. So, he did it for us. Now we need Lamar to do that. We need Tony to do that. And I think they have a better understanding of that. And that's why it's great to get some practice time here.
Was that mental bouncing back what you saw from Lamar on Monday? Because I know we had 2 early fouls sat and then, had some difficult non-whistles too. Is that something he's still working on or what you saw?
Yeah, I think it's out there. If you watch college basketball in general, I think it's out there. Everybody's going through it. How do you play with 2 fouls? And how do you stay in rhythm and how you stay focused and dialed into what you're doing? And, I used to do different things. I used to put him on the bike. I used to put him in for an offensive possession, get him out real quick, which I'm still doing. But, he's getting to a point where he's logged a lot of minutes now. So, again, it's a process. He has to continue to buy in to, okay, I got 2 fouls. I still have to be consistent and play hard and do what the team needs me to do to be successful.
Coach, how difficult is it to get to guys like Tony, Lamar, and Mike to all have good games on the same night? We saw against Texas A&M, Tony and Lamar were really dominant, but Mike kind of struggled going against some of the talented big guys. And against Wisconsin, Mike had a really big game, but Lamar kind of struggled, and Tony didn't have a really good first half. So how is it? What kind of challenge is that to get all 3 of them playing well together on one?
Yeah, that's the beauty of coaching, isn't it? Trying to get everybody on the same page on the same night. I think it happened versus Pitt. I thought they played really well that game. So it has happened, and we have seen it, and we know what it looks like. But again, if we come in with the right approach, the right mindset, and we're a little bit more disciplined, and they have a great understanding of what the game plan is, regardless of making shots, you can impact the game. Get yourself to the free throw line. Get some blocks. Get some steals. Get 10 rebounds. If we can remember that, like Tony struggled a little bit in the first half against Iowa, but he had 9 assists, and he had some big-time rebounds. So you can still make winning plays and help the team, whether it's you're talking points, but I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Where do you think Mike is on the rainbow of realizing how good he can be?
I think it's on an upward tick, for sure, after the last 2 games. And I think a couple of these guys have started to really understand just to throw the ball up to the rim now, kind of like they did with Williams on Texas A&M. I think we have a very similar player, and he's only getting better. He's starting to make some great moves in the post. I'm probably playing him too many minutes. There's a couple possessions there where he can't even lift his arms over his head, but that's how hard he's playing. So I think he's getting to a better place, a better space, and mentally I think he's getting a little tougher each day in each game.
Did you think you'd have to have that minutes problem so early? Because he's not bigs in general can have issues with foul trouble.
Yeah.
And just being out there, and you look at the past couple games, he's logged more minutes than he.
36, 34, got picked up an early foul. I think it was against Iowa, and was able to play with that. Because sometimes that quick early foul that might mess with him, and it really hasn't. So he's done a really good job of again being focused, being dialed in, and staying in the moment. I think that's critical for him.
Where are these guys mentally after a tough loss and also going through that grind of so many games and so many days that Rose had mentioned?
They're ready to get back to work. I think they're disappointed. We had a great opportunity, and we didn't seize it. And they understand that we have to do simple better. We have to take care of the details. I think offensively we can cut harder, screen harder, run harder, help each other out, be a little bit more selfless. Defensively, we can be in stances more. Although our defense is still one of the top 20 defenses in the country, it can be better. It can be better. I think we should get more deflections. We should contest a lot more shots. And it's funny. It's like Nate's golf game. You know, you're either getting off the tee well and you're not putting well, or you're putting well and you can't get off the tee. So we're defending, then we give up a rebound. We're not defending, and we get rebounds. So we got to get all on the same page. And I'd like to see 5 guys out there talking. There's just little things when you know your guys are engaged, when you feel the juice, the energy. I mean, I thought that student section the other night had to be the best that we've had in the time that I've been here. They were energetic, they were loud, they were fired up. I could hear them throughout the game, and that should help us. That should help us, and we need that help. So please keep coming out.
How much of that is tied to just the nature of 18, 19, 20-year-olds versus the mental toughness that keeps kind of coming up in our conversation?
Yeah, you're right. They're 18, 19, and 20 years old.
So it's more that?
It's a little bit of everything, right? The way they condition their bodies throughout the summer and throughout the preseason, if we can condition our minds very similar, then we're going to be able to win some games here and really compete in the Big Ten, because that's the goal. The goal is to move on up in the Big Ten. And if we can treat it physically like we do physically, the same way mentally, I think we break through. We break through some barriers. We just talked about Mike. He's breaking through. He's breaking through. I think Tony's been really consistent, so I can't say that he hasn't broken through. You know, he had one difficult game in his first 10 games here. That's pretty good for a kid who's 19, 20 years old.
Is there anything specific that you do or unique that you do, or is it just kind of getting in the gym and practicing?
It's a lot of different things. It could be film, it could be walkthrough, it could be getting extra shots. It could be, we just did an exhausting drill. Now we're going to do a 5-on-0 segment, and we're going to keep score. All right, now they got to think, and they got to do just a little bit more each time. It could be free throws. You know, it could be that type of situation. I'm always trying to challenge them and push their buttons a little bit to get more out of them, to see where we can get this team. And after this 10 game, you know, we see where we need to go now. I think it was a great litmus test for us.
Is there something opponents are doing to Lamar that have made him maybe a little less comfortable with that mid-range game? It seems like he's gone away from that and trying to get to the basket more, or moved out to the three-point line.
Yeah, I want to see Lamar get to the free throw line. I mean, he's taken 24 threes this year. He only took 4 at this point last year. So I'd like to see him get to the free throw line. We're trying to post him up more. I'm giving him that mid-range, that mid-post-up game if he needs it to face up. He's just got to make simple and solid decisions. You know, I want to see him reduce his turnovers a little bit and make sure we get shots. We need to get shots, because when we go to the offensive glass, we're a really tough team, because that breaks the spirits. It really does, of the opponent. But look, Lamar played great against Iowa, did some great things for us, played great against Pitt, played great against A&M. You know, we just need more consistency.
And then I know it ultimately was kind of inconsequential, but the turnover where he got kind of picked from behind.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know. I guess my perception is that he's getting taken out of the game based on a lack of success earlier in the game offensively.
No. What needed to happen there? Are we talking about the turnover, or are we talking about him? Oh, okay. Yeah. Mike needs to find Tony there. I think he puts Lamar in a very difficult situation. He's flying down the floor, and there's a couple red jerseys in front, but there's a couple of red jerseys behind. And we always talk to them about when you feel that behind, it's just a catch, it's a jump stop, it's a chin, settle down. I wish Mike would have done that in the backcourt instead of taking 2 dribbles. It should have just been chin it, pick it up. Where's my point guard? Shep, Josh. Okay, now let's go. Instead, he hits Lamar, puts him at a disadvantage where Lamar is about to make a play but doesn't feel the heat behind him.
How good or content do you feel with this competition that you've already faced this early in the season, that now it's just doing the simple things better, as you say?
Yeah, I think we missed out on some opportunities, and we can't get them back, but we're going to learn from those experiences. As long as we have the right mindset and right approach and understand that we have to continue to get better, that we don't have this figured out, then we'll always get better, and that's going to be the approach. And again, I know we don't like the word process, but that's what it is. If these guys come in today ready to practice, ready to get better, well, that's what's going to happen on Thursday, and that's what's going to happen on Friday, and then we'll be ready to compete against a very good GW team on Saturday.